What's up, guys? Jason and Chris from Hard Money Bankers right back at you with a few tips and tricks to help expand your real estate investing career. Today we're going to talk about the 3 must-do direct mailing campaigns for all real estate investors, and obviously the importance of doing direct mail and some benefits of doing direct mail than some other campaigns. You know, we all know that if you're not marketing, you have to. you can't rely on just MLS deals or wholesaler deals or stuff, and you know, marketing's not hard, and I think it scares people, but it's pretty easy.
It's like anything else. I mean, you see that it's actually not very difficult at all once you dive in and do it and make it happen.
Exactly. And you know, from our experience and from other real estate investors that we do loans for experience, that direct mail directly to homeowners seems to be by far the best rate of return than any other thing.
It is a top strategy according to the top investors that we know, and we know a lot of them.
Exactly. So let's go through the 3 ones that we do on our buy-in side that have been the most effective. And I also, before we shot this video, took a poll from some of our real estate investing clients to ask them as well. So the first one by far is probate. And what a probate mailing is it's for estate sales. So somebody dies and they own the property, they die, and it goes through an estate, and then it goes to their heirs, their kids, or whoever the case is. And the reason these are so motivated is because somebody's getting a property that they don't really want necessarily. Right. And the other thing is most of these properties, I mean, think about like your grandmother's house. It was probably renovated in like the 50s. And you can go in there and be like, Grandma, like, you need to put some granite on this thing. And she's gonna be like, I don't want granite, I want this type of setup. So it's probably gonna need a little bit of work. So it's hard to just throw that right back on MLS and get them to sell it. And sometimes the owner lives out of state. I mean, let's say my grandmother lives in Maryland, and I'm the heir to the estate. I live in Texas. What the heck do I know about selling a property in Maryland?
Sure.
So it's a really good motivated seller. And those lists, what happens is those lists typically populate, I think, once a month. And we'll talk about in a second of where to get the lists, but that's obviously a really good one. Second one is absentee owners. And what that is somebody that owns a property but doesn't live in the house. Now, it could be a vacant property, or it could be a property that has a tenant in there, and we'll take that to the next step. So it's absentee owners and out-of-state owners. So somebody that owns a house in a different state than they live in. Obviously, could be very motivated as well. And when you do a list for that one, you want to make sure you're pulling data for people that have bought it from at least 2003 and then before, because you don't want to market to somebody who just bought an investment property recently. No. You need someone who bought it at least 10 or so years ago, and also there's a good chance they have equity in it.
And there's a good chance that they have problems with it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which ties right into another topic we've discussed, like here at our meetup, also on video, is buy in the areas where you know. Because when you have a property out of town and things go wrong and you can't manage them, those people are ripe to sell. And that's exactly the same reason why we tell people we work with here, don't buy properties in areas that you don't know.
That's right. Yeah, good point there. And also the third one, which a lot of people overlook, and I think actually the people that do these the best are realtors. It's marketing to areas either like they call a farm area or an area they just bought and sold a property for. So have you ever, in your neighborhood, have you ever gotten a mailing from a real estate agent that says, oh, I just sold a house in your neighborhood, or I just listed a house in your neighborhood, or whatever. And you also get this from home improvement contractors. Hey, I just did a roof on your neighbor.
For sure.
We're looking to do more roofs in your neighborhood. So great. So for instance, the way that we have our marketing campaign set up for that is anytime we buy a property in an area, we send out, we put them into a direct mail campaign, and we just purchased the property in your neighborhood. We're going to renovate it. We're going to improve your neighborhood, make it look real nice. If you have any questions about this, or anyone that wants to sell, or you want to sell, reach out to us directly. So, and also it's just so qualified too, because when somebody calls you, you know exactly what you can pay for that house. You probably know you've been into it. You're an expert in that area, so you know it really well. So those are probably, there's a lot of different direct mail pieces that you can do, but if you have never done it before, or even if you are doing it right now, at least do these 3, because they're the easiest.
Or start with 1. Really, if you're doing 0.
You can do 1, or you can do 3, either way. But
a lot of people are doing 0 mailing and will continue to do 0, so I think 1's a big time improvement.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But we're going to go over a few costs related to these right now, and you're going to see that they're actually pretty inexpensive, and they're not very time consuming either. Okay, so obviously, you know, we're big advocates to automate things and get things kind of set up, and then let it do itself, play its course after that. So a few things. All of this data, for the most part, is public record. So you can either buy these lists, or you can, you know, figure out a way to scrape these lists or get these lists manually done. So it depends on, you know, kind of who you are, but I'm gonna give you some options. So probates come out weekly, or monthly, I'm sorry. They come out monthly. So you can go onto your local, you know, city or state, actually county, sorry, around here it's county, and pull this data yourself. Or another place to go is, if you're going into these RIA groups, and if you're a member of a RIA group, there are always people in there that scrape this data and then sell it to all the members of the RIA group. And they only cost like $30 a month per county, because there's not that many of them. You know, there's probably only, you know, 10 or 50 records per county per month based on it. So you can do that. At the very least, if you can't find that person, you can always go to a company like listsource.com and pull that data. There's more than enough criteria to pull off of that. So that's probates. Also, with absentee owners, it's a very similar situation. Usually somebody is going down to the courthouse or going online, scraping all the data, putting it in a good format, and doing it. But if you can't find that person, or you're just getting set up, go to listsource.com and just buy it. You can do that.
Sure.
You can do that as well. In our opinion, we've noticed that learning how to find that data and then having an outsourced virtual assistant do it for you typically is the cheapest, and you typically get the best results because they're doing it manually and you know that it's accurate. Although ListSource's data, I feel, is really good, you know, there's, you know, sometimes we get a lot of returns that, you know, invalid address or things like that. And same with a farm area, you know, you can go.
Real quick, do you scrape those out as you're, you know, mailing consistently? Are you taking the bad ones out?
Absolutely.
And how do you know? Because they come back in the mail.
They come back in the mail.
Okay, and so you're taking those out for the next time.
Exactly. So, yeah, so a few things with that. Obviously, you're not setting up a mailing campaign to mail them once. It doesn't make sense. With marketing, you've got to be consistent, and you got to mail them regularly, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 times. Over and over. Typically, most of our campaigns are set up the first time, and we do 12 months in a row. Some we do every other month, but because the way that the system is set up, and keep in mind, we're not licking envelopes, and keep that in mind.
Not anymore.
Like, after this thing is set up, it's set up. So we use a company called click2mail.com, click2mail.com. You can go on, check them out. So you're uploading your creative to them, you're uploading the list to them, and then you're telling them when to send them out. Mailings, like a letter, for instance, 60 cents or so. A postcard, about 40 cents or so. Obviously, the more you do, you get bulk rates, the cheaper it gets. But you know, let's say for every 1,000 you send out, it costs you an average of $500. Like $500 for a marketing campaign that will produce results is not expensive.
Not at all.
And after it's set up the first time, it's just go in there, duplicate campaign, and put the mailing date that you want to send it. Technically, you could set the mailing date up in the future all at once if you want, but this whole process takes about an hour on the front end, and then 5 to 10 minutes per month after that. And it's so automated. And keep in mind, you know, you're free to do it yourself, or you know, what we did is I took a video of us doing it, and then you sent that to a virtual assistant to have them do it.
Yeah, so it doesn't cost much in time or in money.
Yep.
And you touched on it for a second, but let's talk about creatives.
Okay.
Do you like letters in an envelope or postcards?
So I think that's something that you should probably test both, but the way we've been doing it is, you know, the benefit of postcards is they're cheaper, they're easier, they're direct in somebody's face. So we try to do a letter first. So we'll do a letter for the first or second month, and then after that it's all postcard, black ink, yellow
text.
No, yellow flyer. Or yellow postcard with black text.
Okay, got it. Okay, and in terms of testing conversion, testing the calls that you're getting in per piece, here's a very easy way to do that. And we don't want to make it overcomplicated. Like, you could split test per mailing and all that, but I think that's, you know, that's too advanced.
2.0.
Yeah, that's too advanced for most real estate investors. So letter number 1 or postcard number 1, whatever it may be, get an 800 number that you could track, like from callfire.com, CALLFIRE.com. and use that unique number. They're very inexpensive. Whatever they charge for it monthly, it's not much at all, and it's per call, and you're not going to be getting thousands of calls.
Or Google phone, probably for free. Google Voice or Google Talk Chat. What's it called? Google. What the hell is that called?
Google Voice, I think.
Yeah, Google Voice. Right. I mean, you can just get another number on that and then redirect it, but then you can see where they're coming from.
Okay. Yeah. So you can use a Google 800 number too, and put that on one piece only. So if you're month one doing a letter, put that 800 number there, mail it out, track how many calls you get from 1,000 mailers, for example, and that's your conversion rate, or that's like your, in essence, like your lead rate, and then what you do on the phone is your conversion rate. But those are the two important things to track. And the next month, grab another 800 number, put it on your postcard, see how many calls you get from there.
Yep.
That's the way to start tracking.
That's one good way to track. The other way to track is on each postcard that you upload, put something unique like a blue circle or a red circle or some sort of circle, actually you can't do a colored because it's going to be black text. So do a square or a circle or something with the keypad. So it'd be like, hey, we're when the seller calls, you can ask that way as well.
Oh, to see what they're looking at.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you can identify the piece.
Or you change the title or something like that. So 2.0, we'll talk about that in the future maybe.
Yep.
We can do another video related to that, is really kind of black belting it. After you're getting good conversions and you know it, you prove to yourself, I mean, I'm telling you this is going to work, it's effective, but when you prove it to yourself, then we can talk about that next step.
For sure.
Cool.
Anything else for today?
Anything else to add related to that?
I would just say, anyone we're doing business with at HardMoneyBankers.com, we do strategy sessions, and this kind of stuff is what goes into them. So if you apply for a loan with HMB on the website, HardMoneyBankers.com, you can definitely do a strategy session with us too, and we'll try to improve our businesses together. So cool. Thanks for watching.
Take care, guys.
Bye.